We are told from a very young age that finding love is the ultimate, unquestionable prize. Our songs, movies, and entire culture frame it as the one thing we desperately crave. Yet when a genuinely kind person actually shows up and expresses interest, something highly disturbing happens. We are hit with a sudden wave of nausea, restlessness, and panic. The very thing we claim to want makes us sick. We immediately start scanning them for defects. We search for any excuse to disqualify them. Their shoes are too pointed, their laugh is too loud, they went to the wrong university, or they chew too slowly. We relay these findings to our friends, confidently explaining why the person wasn't a good fit. We maintain the respectable facade that we are holding out for the perfect match, and our friends generally swallow the explanation without complaint. Strangely, this hypercritical eye vanishes the moment we meet someone emotionally unavailable. We will happily spend years exhausting ourselves, hovering around a distant, dismissive person who has absolutely no real interest in us. This diagram shows a mechanical sorting funnel that mimics our internal selection process. The dating pool itself is fine, but our brain contains a systematic error. We actively block healthy candidates, while enthusiastically welcoming broken ones. The recurring sense of bad luck in our dating lives points to a hidden internal pattern. We are operating under an unseen psychological condition that leads us to treat our own happiness as a threat. As long as we keep believing our own trivial excuses, we remain blind to the reality of this pattern. We are treating genuine, warm affection as a danger that must be eradicated. To understand why we behave this way, we have to look away from our adult dating lives and return to our earliest environment. Our ability to properly accept love as adults rests heavily on a single condition: whether we were unambiguously chosen by our parents as children. Tragically, many parents fail to do this. This rarely looks like overt malice. More often, caregivers are simply blocked by their own depression, preoccupied by their own sadness, or lost deep inside their own darkness. A highly sensitive child absorbs every bit of that emotional distance. They internalize the constant stream of minor critiques, being told they ask too much, sing too loudly, or are in the way. This diagram represents the child's identity under the weight of these critiques. From this data, a deeply ingrained certainty takes hold that we are inherently flawed, a stain, and completely unlovable. This becomes our internal baseline. As the child grows up, this damaged self-image hardens into a rigid filter. Every future piece of affection we encounter must now pass through this barrier. Fast forward to adulthood, and we can finally see what happens when a genuinely kind person slips past those early defenses to care for us. The machinery breaks down. We experience intense cognitive dissonance. The warm, high opinion this new partner has of us directly contradicts our deepest, oldest certainty that we are disgusting. The nausea and panic are defensive reactions to the unfamiliar. Being valued feels alien and psychologically destabilizing, clashing with the foundational belief that we are unlovable. Conversely, this explains the perverse sense of safety we feel around highly critical or unavailable partners. These diagrams show two different magnetic interactions. We are drawn to tormentors because their coldness confirms what we already believe about ourselves. Their rejection requires zero mental friction to process. It clicks smoothly into place. The human brain prefers the familiar pain of a known rejection over the terrifying, unmapped territory of being loved. This pathological self-sabotage is a survival mechanism. It is the logical result of a child trying to navigate a home where they were not chosen. Eventually, usually at around 3:30 in the morning, we reach a breaking point. We look back at the trail of destroyed relationships and realize that we are the common denominator. The first step of the cure requires a shift in our attention. We must redirect our hypercritical eye away from the minor flaws of our dates and replace it with a deep sorrow for our own past. We need to summon profound compassion for the younger version of ourselves. That child was treated unfairly and forced to carry the weight of an adult's emotional dysfunction. This leads to an emotional rebellion. We can actively decide to stop doing the work of our early bullies, refusing to recreate the injustices of our childhood in our adult lives. The behavioral prescription is simple but difficult. When a kind person approaches and that primal urge to run away hits, we must acknowledge the nausea and explicitly refuse to act on it. We look at their odd nose, their different background, or their quirky laugh, and we accept them anyway. We see these traits as standard markers of being human, rather than valid reasons for execution. Then comes the most crucial step of all. We must be entirely transparent with them. We have to gently confess that we like them very much, but that we are frightened, and that a traumatized part of our brain wants to flee. If they are a healthy candidate, they will not panic at this confession. They will listen, they will offer patience, and they will slowly help a new foundation of trust replace the old familiar panic. Dismantling our pathological defenses allows us to finally sustain a connection. We graduate from the search for a flawless person to the brave work of accepting the love we have always deserved.